on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. I just finished working out, so that's why I'm a sweaty mess and it's hot outside. But today's video, we're going to be going over 5 things that I hate about the FRS, and this will be helpful to you guys that are trying to buy an FRS or looking into a GT86, BRZ, whatever. Just some good ownership insight, and it's not going to be the typical 5 things that you normally hear, so let's go ahead and get into it. So number 1 is going to be on the interior. I have a couple things that are on the interior, and it's not going to be the seats or anything that you normally hear. This one's actually going to be something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, which is really important. So I'm 6 foot, about 180 pounds. I'm not massive, I'm a fit guy, but right here on the FRS, most FRSs do have a key. And so the key is going to be right here. So when I put my foot on the brake pedal, it sits about right there on my knee. So whenever I'm driving, you can see my foot's on the brake. If I go and heel toe because I want to downshift, or I'm driving, like a maniac, I have like no clearance at all when I heel toe. It's like the smallest amount of clearance. And it always freaks me out because I feel like I'm gonna go heel toe and just break this key off in the ignition, and that would not be a good day. So that's gonna be one thing that I definitely hate about the FRS. I understand, the FRS was made to be like the cheapest version. It's the cheapest version out there, and it was supposed to be an affordable sports car, whatever, but I feel like they could have at least done a better job designing where this key went. Also, the steering wheel is adjusted all the way up to the top, and that's about as high as it goes. So maybe in the future, I don't know if I could relocate this, because I am trying to make this car a drift build. But on all the other models, they are a push to start, which the button is right here normally, so you don't even have anything there to worry about your knees. So that's going to be number 1 thing that I hate about this car. So number 2 on my list is something that you probably have heard about this car, which is going to be the center console area. So as you can see, there's just 2 cup holders and then this little tiny area here that I just have like my work badge and my socket for the key lock or whatever. But there's really no storage space in the center console, and there's no armrest. So usually when I'm driving, I'll have my arm kind of like right here on this little corner where the e-brake trim kind of clicks in or whatever. It's usually like right there, and it's not comfortable at all, but it's the only area I have. But usually when I'm driving, my hand, because this is a sports car, which I would hope you would drive it spiritedly, usually I have 2 hands on the wheel, and then I'm shifting, downshifting, whatever. But it's just, there's so many other designs, and it's not even like this is a small space. I mean, it's small for what car it is, but it's not like, it's just e-brake and shifter. Like, they could have designed this a little better, in my opinion, and definitely had like an armrest. So I know they sell aftermarket ones that fit this whole section here, and they flip up. Again, the only downside of that is that the cup holders are pretty much extinct when you do that, and if you want to use the cup holders, you have to keep it open, which is pretty dorky. And then the other one is just like a small pad that kind of slides forward and back, which I don't know, I just don't think it's really that important. It's just kind of inconvenient. And then usually if I do use the cup holders, I only have a cup in the back here, because when I have my arm here, and as you can see, my hand's on the shifter, if I'm going back and forth, I'll be hitting whatever cup is in that first cup holder all day. So I usually have something in the back, and usually I have my water bottle, which doesn't even fit in the cup holders anyway, which goes in the seat and just flies around and is happy and whatever. So definitely that would be my second thing that I hate about this car, is the center console. Just kind of lack of storage, and also kind of inconvenient with the design. No armrests, cup holders, whatever. So that would be number 2. So for my number 3, it's going to be kind of something unique, which a lot of people will understand this, but I guess it's overlooked, is the design of these cars from outside is like so simple. It's aggressive. It's one of the best looking cars, if you ask me. A lot of people really like the look of it. You know, it's got the two-door, low-profile coupe, nice sports car look. And so the thing that I hate is because this car looks so good, you get a lot of looks driving around town, and you get a lot of people revving at you. You get a lot of people that, you know, they look at you, whatever. And the only downside to that is that this car is so slow. And so, yes, I love this car because for the power to weight ratio, you know, it's not it's not super slow. It is a sports car, so it is quick. But yes, it's slow. So for driving around, spirited driving, heel toe, downshifting, driving manual, you know, spirited car, it's a ton of fun. But when you come across somebody and they pull up on you and you're in this slow car and you downshift and you still don't go anywhere, and then Toyota Camry takes off on you and walks you, it's kind of depressing. So that's something that I do hate about this car is I do genuinely wish it had just a little more power from the factory. That way when you do get the looks and stuff, you know, hey, you know, I can drive pretty quick in my car or whatever. But this car, nah, dude, you downshift and you're waiting, and then you get a little bit of power and then it's time to shift. But if I'm going on the on-ramp, this car's awesome. But that would be something I hate is the looks and the attention this car gets, but it doesn't really have the power and the fastness to back up the looks. So, all right, so moving right along, if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I've upgraded the iDoing head unit here, and as well as in the last video, we just upgraded all of these trim pieces, the shift knob, the shift boot, and the e-brake boot, like I just showed you guys. And number 4 of what I hate about this car is the interior kind of, not necessarily design, it does have its flaws like we already talked about, but the color and the kind of flow of everything. It's obviously really cheap. Again, I know it's a budget sports car, you know, they wanted to make it affordable, whatever. But this right here, disregard how ghetto this looks right now, we're going to be replacing this. So I did have this suede wrapped, and I had these 2 pieces on the iDoing suede wrap to match, and as you can see, I ripped them off, and this is a flat black. So I am going to be ordering the black piece here to replace that. But underneath the suede was this cheap carbon fiber that you guys all know, and it's pretty funny because if you look at different models, it's all like different shades. Like I have a darker shade, I've seen a more plasticky, like silver looking shade of carbon fiber that they come with, and it looks really bad if you ask me, as well as, like, you know, the silver that we had, the silver on the AC, the chrome door handles, the red stitching with this fake leather, and this is like the worst right here if you ask me, is on the door card. This is like, what do you even call this? Because it's not leather, it's just plastic. It's very cheap. And then, you know, I would say the best thing about this car is the seats for the money and everything, because these are pretty good sporty factory seats. You know, they have good support and whatever, but the red with the silver, you've got fake carbon fiber, you've got silver on the steering wheel, you've got red on the steering wheel, you've just got kind of a lot going on. And then, like, this is black from the factory, and it's just like, okay, well, nothing really flows. You've got the cheaply made controls down here, and it just kind of, it's really just kind of sad to see. You know, I wish they would have like picked one solid color and flowed throughout the whole interior. I think it would have at least cleaned it up a lot more. So that's one of my goals that I've been doing with this car, is just cleaning up the interior and kind of making it somewhat better for what it is. And again, it is a FRS, so it's not as good as the GT86 or the BRZ Limited that have the dual climate and the nicer knobs and the display and whatnot. Same thing with the push to start and the updated analogs. The analogs on this car are so old. I mean, they are nice for the sports car, you know, and you don't even really pay attention over here on the left to the speedometer, because you get the digital display right here, which is so easy to use. But again, this is the chrome around here, but then black on here. Just, it doesn't really flow. So that would be number 4 that I hate. It's just the color scheme and design of the overall interior. So coming in at number 5 is going to be probably the worst thing on this car that some people do talk about, and this is one of those things that if you own one of these cars, you're going to relate in almost every single way, because this is something that is so simple and you take it for granted on every other car that you've ever been in. So all FRS GT86 BRZs guys know that these doors suck. These doors are so heavy, but there is no, I don't know what you call them, but they keep the door at different levels open, so it stays open. And so if we just sit here for a second, I'm on level ground right now, so the door will stay open, and also the wind outside is blowing this way, so it's keeping the door open. So for instance, if you're trying to clean the interior of this car, or even just have the door open if you're turning the car first thing on the morning, this door will literally just close by itself, full force. Not even just bump against and like barely close. No, it slams closed. And so for me, where I work, I have to wear certain shoes. And so because I drive manual, I wear slip-on Vans in the morning, and then when I get to work, I change my shoes. So whenever I get to work or I leave work, I turn outside the car and I change my shoes. After a long day of work, and this door keeps flying open and hitting my legs, and it just won't stay open for me to put on my shoes, it is one of the worst and most annoying things about this car. As well as, like I said, if you're just trying to clean the interior of the car, you better get used to that door just being right up against you, because it does not stay open. It just flies open. So that's just one of the things that really makes me scratch my head. Why did they design it that way? The door just never wants to stay open. My driveway is a little slanted, and so what I'll do is I'll turn the car around so that the doors are downward and stay open. And I have seen guys, they put like plastic bottles in the crevices so the door stays open that way. But it's just a pain, you know? It's something that you would expect from factory. You would never know, because that's something you take for granted on every single car. And it's not like it's new technology either. Like, it's been on cars for as long as I can remember. So those are 5 simple things that I really hate about this car. A few additional things that I will say that I don't like about this car is, you know, it is a smaller car. So don't buy one of these cars expecting it to be like having a lot of storage space and expecting to use these back seats, because we all know these back seats are entirely useless. So, you know, you can go grocery shopping and there's enough storage. There is enough storage for what it is, but it's not super storagey. And it, I mean, you can fit 4 wheels back there with the seat down, and probably a few tools and like a jack if you break it down and fit it back there. But I know when I was getting my wheels, I couldn't even fit like all 4 of the wheel boxes and the tires in here. It just wasn't happening. So you can fit like 4 of the stock wheels, maybe like 6 stock wheels. And if I try to put my wheels that are on the car right now in here, I could probably get them in here. Just not as easy as the stock wheels, because they are bigger. But you know, just things like that. Keep in mind that if you are looking into one of these cars, you know, pay attention to if you're going to be daily driving it, or if it's going to be a weekend car, fun car, or whatever. So just practicality, things like that. Otherwise, that's it for this. Just 5 quick things that I hate about the car. Like I said, I do love this car. Highly recommend. I'm going to be making a video soon about probably 5 things I love about this car, as well as, you know, if you should buy one of these today, as far as the value, what it is, and even against the second gens. Personally, I'll just go ahead and tell you, if you're wanting to get into one of these cars, I would say get into a first gen, because the second gens are, you know, they're updated, they have the creature comforts, and they have a little bit more power and whatnot, but essentially it's the same car for a lot more. So if you don't want to break the bank, definitely get yourself a nice first gen that's been taken care of or whatever. So if you guys like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel for more. Leave a like if you like this video. Leave me a comment and let me know if you agree with these things, if you have one of these cars, or let me know some things that you hate. If you guys are looking into getting one of these cars, highly recommend. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.